Hi everyone, my name is Walker. I'm going to be talking about discipline and how kids should be disciplined. How I think, what some websites have said. Um, Personally, from what I've read in the textbook and what I've read, um, kids definitely have been getting disciplined in the right direction so far. Um, I think you know it's gone from kids getting slapped and hit in classrooms to now using words and using other forms of punishment. But definitely, I think we've gone in the right direction as far as that. Um, Everyone has experienced discipline in a different form. A lot of people have gone through it in a lot of different ways. So not really everybody knows. Hey, I've gone through discipline in certain different ways. You don't know everybody's story. That's why I think this is such a really cool aspect. Self discipline is something that I've read a lot about. I feel like if kids were to self discipline themselves, if they were to inflict discipline on themselves, then it would have better outcome instead of, hey, the parents are like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. No, if the child's like, hey, I got to do this, I got to do this, then it'll have a bigger effect on them for sure. Discipline will, it'll make you a better human. It'll make the child's life go a long way. Um, you know, Self discipline, like I said, is probably the biggest thing that I've read about. Um, the reason I chose um, the reason I chose this topic is because I think a lot of kids nowadays have gone through not what I went through, which I thought was interesting. I think kids, like I said, are not getting hit and beat as much, but I definitely feel like their social skills are not as good. And I feel like being able to stand up and get off your phone, get off your uh, PlayStation or whatever you're playing on and talk to people is something that you really really have to work on and be able to have that skill. Um, and I think that's why I think I chose this one because I do think kids they're going in the right they're going teachers and parents are going in the right direction, but disciplining them without hitting them and allowing them to grow as individuals without extreme punishment is a really good thing. That's why I chose it. Um, I learned a lot from the websites. 70% of kids, I learned this, 70% of kids um, are need psychological help because of forced discipline. I found that extremely big as a number. Um, you know, and they're desperate for it. That's what I found really chilling. Um, Another website told me, the spanking website told me that it can do spanking do more harm than good, and there's been evidence of the harm and how it hurts the child and how it hurts their mentality. How their father walks by and he accidentally raises his hand and you think you're getting hit. It happens to kids all the time. And then the last one I learned that uh, there's been people all over the world that have been studying kids from birth until adolescence, and that um, they've taken so much data and so much um, you know numbers and things like of that nature, be going from hey, here's a kid in a perfect environment, here's a kid in a really bad environment, compare them. And I think that will really help so that way they can find the best way to tell people, hey, this is how you need to raise your kid, and yet these are the steps you need to take. Not always hitting them, but definitely disciplining them in a way. What I learned about everything was, I don't have a kid. I'm not a father yet, but I'm looking forward to it for sure. I definitely don't intend to hit my child. I definitely don't intend to punish them in that way, but I definitely intend to punish them and teach them discipline and teach them that some things are right and some things are wrong. And definitely think that hitting them is not the way. Definitely think that taking things away really works, and honestly, making them get off their cellular devices, getting off their games, and going and talking to people. Honestly, just going to talking, going to read a book, going to just be social and talk to other people. Because honestly, being on your phone and being just out of it, like a lot of kids are, just it's just not good for you. You don't know how to start a conversation. You go to college and you walk into your orientation. You're supposed to go up and talk to people. You're supposed to learn new people. And you're supposed to learn who you are. And if you've been on your phone for 14 years and you have no idea what to say and no idea how to read context, then it's just going to be bad for the child. So that's really what I came across with this whole presentation, and I really hope you liked it. I hope I did okay, Professor Avery. So thank you very, very much, and hopefully ready for the next one.